Hello, Lee Kemp here for another week on the podcast with my very good friend Ryan Boniface and also Jose Noya. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, thanks for that. Very good. You?
It's a clever word in there. To read it, it sounds very nice, but you got the underlying tone there, didn't you? Did you know, Jose,
did,
actually
yeah.
in the background, I've started seeing adverts popping up for season 4 of Ted Lasso.
I love that. Yeah, same.
He was
can't
on the
wait for
was he
that.
on the halftime show at the World Cup?
Yes,
Did I
he
see
was.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Believe,
was.
believer or something. Believe.
And I've got mixed thoughts on this because I love Ted Lasso. But in a way, it was such a perfect series. Is this going to make it better or is this going to make it worse? And I'm a little bit worried about that because it was such a perfect series, as in set of seasons, the 3 of them together. So we'll see. We'll see.
I'm worried as well. I've said that to people that I'm
So
just worried about it.
I'm looking forward to it with slight trepidation. Because what a show. And like you said, for you, Joe, it's just basically it was a love letter to coaching, wasn't it? It was.
It was, yeah. When you see it through that lens, and even people who don't necessarily know coaching, it still lands, which is so rare. Yeah. It's so good. Everyone takes something from it, which is incredible. Yeah,
Excellent
just love that
stuff.
show.
Anyway, how are you both? You both good this week?
Yeah, we're good. Well, I'm good. I
very
can't
well.
speak for Ryan, so I said we're good. I was speaking for Ryan. Then bloody hell, what's going on there?
Yeah,
Yes, I'm good.
I'm good.
Our dad answering for both of us.
Well, someone had a birthday, didn't they? As well, I think.
Yeah, it was my birthday on Monday.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Did you have a nice one?
With surprise.
Hold
it was
on.
all right, mate.
Didn't we talk about his birthday last week? Is he getting double bubble
We
on
did.
this? Yeah, you're going to have 2 birthday mentions.
Yeah,
You've been
this
greedy.
You know what? Fair enough.
This is celebration time. Oh, Lee, you're so mean.
What are you now, 36, 37?
31.
That's what I said. Pretty much the same thing, right? You're in your 30s, yes. I'm in my 30s. It's all good.
Well, I kind of claim I'm in my late 20s.
Yeah. Well, I'm 30, 14, so I'm doing well.
Do you know what? I went to Tesco the other day and I bought. I tell you what, it might have been when England lost to Argentina a couple of weeks ago, but I think I bought a couple of beers or I bought a bottle of wine or something, and I got ID'd.
Oh, I bet you
were well ID'd.
No way.
I was still 30 at the time, but I got ID'd at 30.
Wow.
I was buzzing. I don't think I'd been ID'd since I was like 21. That's when I started growing the beard.
That's incredible.
I got it once in my 30s, mid 30s, and I was so chuffed, and I don't think they knew what to do with me being so happy about it.
Yeah.
You start running around the till, go, yeah, and then what is going on?
A little bit, yeah.
I took it as a massive compliment for what it was.
Oh, 100%. That's exactly it. You go. There's a whole bit of your life where you're like, and you said chip on your shoulder about looking young and being young, and then suddenly you get to a point where it's like the biggest compliment in the world is where people refer to you as being young, right?
Yeah.
So it's whose subject is it this week? We didn't talk about this beforehand.
You know when he does this, it's his. It happens every time.
Look at Joe. He's not. What was that? That's the wrong finger. You're not swearing when you put up that finger, Joe. I'm
saying, look at this face.
Oh, okay. I always look at that face with a little loving gaze. So I'm pretty sure I've got 3 for you, and I'm pretty sure we've done all of these before, but thematically I really want to just talk about myself because I'm an egotist, really. So at the moment I am decorating my little man cave room in which I work and game and podcast, multifunction area. It's well overdue. Obviously I've got a background up behind me, but you guys all know that it's a bit of a mess. Ryan, you know I use it in work and it's a horrendous mess, so I'm going to have something more respectful soon. But on a wall behind me, I'm going to put up 3 quotes on the wall in my room as inspirational, not just inspirational things. These are 3 quotes that I think define me and my approach to life and my mentality, and they're there as like positive affirmations, but in a way I can kind of be proud of as well, if that makes sense. Is I'm affirming, yes, this is you, this is what you do. And I think I've talked about all these quotes under that guidance. So there's going to be 3 framed quotes on the wall behind me, the first of which is from a fella we know by the name of Winston Churchill. And I'm going to give all 3 of these because I think if I was to sum up my approach to how I treat life, it's these 3 quotes. And it is: success is not final, failure is not fatal, it's the courage to continue that counts. Never give up. And we talked on this before. And there's three statements, and all three of them, I think, again, I say affirmations because they are me, but they're those things sometimes you need to remind yourself they're you and lean into it and be with it. And success is not final. Don't, you're only up when you're up. Don't rest on your laurels with it. Know that when it's going well, it can drop off just as soon, and that's not the end of the road. Similarly, failure is not fatal. You will, and it's more important to me in this, is things will not happen. Things will go wrong. Things won't go right. In your control, out of your control, whatever else. It's not the end. The same. And it's the courage to continue that counts. It's just that. It's just pick yourself up, dust off, keep going on. When it's good, when it's bad, when it's in the middle, do you just keep going? And that for me is important. So I love that quote as it is, and that's on there to remind me that, as a Jose Noya likes to say, and I don't think I got early on, and I get more than anything else now, is it's a journey, and it's a journey that matters. And I think this really emphasizes that. There's a lot of things I'm proud of in my life, but they're not because I decided, this week I'm really going to gun for it. This month I'm going to gun for it. This year I'm going to run for it. They're because they are what I do day in, day out for decades now, and it builds itself, and it's about that daily action. And I think that's what that one says to me. So that's number one on the wall as part of what Lee is. Number two, and we talked about this quite recently, is my Daft Punk, which is the truncated quote is harder, better, faster, stronger. The elongated one is work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger. And that it's repetition. So everything I do, I get a little bit better. I'll do this, I get a bit better. I'll give a talk, that's good. And the next time I do a talk, it'll be a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better. I'll build a presentation for work, and it's good, and a little bit better. I run a project, and it's good, or bad, or indifferent, but the next one does a little bit better. The moment, like reference, I'm doing the decorating. Each time I do decorating, I get a little bit better. I learn the next new technique. I think horrendously wrong, and I know never to do that again. And that's, for me, in a way, again, everything's not good or bad or binary outcome. It's the next, and I do it again, and I do it again, and I do it again, and I get a little better, and I get a little better, and I get a little better. And that's, again, it's me when I'm doing things. It's all part of that journey, and it really, those lyrics really speak to me for that, in that building block. So that is going up on the wall. Probably, if I can do it, is with the keywords harder, faster, better, stronger in bold, and it would be harder, but it's work it in little letters, and harder, bigger. So that's my every day. You're just getting a little, 1%, 1%, 1%. And last and but not least is the Steve Jobs. It's a long one. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in square holes, the ones who see things differently. I'm like 25% away through now. They're not fond of rules. They have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some might see them as crazy ones, we see genius, because the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And there's a lot of stuff. There's proven techniques. There's this, that, the other. There's ways to do things. But ultimately, I want to push the boundaries. I want to do things differently. I don't want to be stuck by convention. I want to push, experiment, change, try different things, try ridiculous things. It's not, there's another one. I was tying up between this and the song lyrics, which is about renegades, and it talks about people like Steven Spielberg and Stanley Kubrick, and being the renegades and the rule pushers and the boundary breakers. And that's a big part of my makeup as well, is not sitting in and not being afraid, putting myself out there, knowing that people think you're a loon, what are you even trying for? Because that's how you make a difference. So those three, that is me. If I could sum up my approach, my formula for life is those three quotes, and they're going up on my wall as, I say, not just reminders, but I don't know, almost like trophies, if you like, in a way, as to, and I would, 10 years ago, the the seeds would have been there, but I don't know if it would have all been there. And that's the thing that I've built up over time, is knowing that they're there, and that will grow and that will change, all that involved. But I want to remind myself, stay humble, pick yourself up when you fall down, keep doing your reps, and don't be afraid to think outside the box. Not in that, be proud to think outside the box. That's my lead to go on the wall in my room. So again, I could. This is in my mind. I haven't finished yet. They're not up there. They might by next week, certainly the week after, it'll all be done, and I can show you guys my little bit of work, and you can all give me a little pat on the back, because we all like a little pat on the back. But this weekend, I bought the frames, and I've been online looking at getting the posters to go in them. So it's really in my head right now. And I was certain the Renegade Rebel thing was going up. The Daft Punk, it was going to be 2, and I'm like, oh, I've got enough room for 3. What's the third one? What really means something to me? And I was thinking back on all our conversations, and I think that Churchill one is the missing piece of the pie to really tie them all together. So there you go. That's me, as I wouldn't have done 7 years ago, Joe, talking about me and how I think and what I'm proud of and how I act. And it's very fresh in my mind right now. So I just wanted to throw out the posters of Lee.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
There was. I'm sorry. That was a that was a big opening monologue.
As in, there's a lot that you're following. There's the 3 quotes. There's quite a lot in all of them, isn't there? There's, and I picked up a couple of things like the courage to continue. I really like that. When you was talking, that is so lovely. That's the church part of the Churchill one, and the harder, better, faster, stronger one. Really like that. It just sums you up. And then, the crazy ones, the ones where the Steve Jobs quote about the crazy ones who the craziest thing they can change the world usually do. I really do like that, because I think you're by you putting on the wall as well, I think that's really cool, because I'm just thinking, would you have done that? Would you actually put it on a wall 7 years ago? Would you even think of putting it on a wall? Even if you thought of it, would you have thought about, I'm going to actually stick this up?
And I don't know that I would have. You're absolutely right. And as you're talking, I'm thinking, I'm processing all in my head, and it's almost there's a what I think is a great, for me internally, a great contradiction here, because I am putting them up like louder, obviously in my room, but louder. This is me. If I'm having a room that is about me, I'm putting this on the wall. But actually, they're all things internally for me. They're the quiet things. The courage to carry on is to pick yourself. People don't even notice that. That's all the below the surface iceberg stuff. That's me telling myself, keep going, keep going, keep going. The reps, again, is me day to day. It's not like it's in people's face. That's my thing for me. And the crazy thing, there's some more out there, but again, I'm almost, in a way, I'm the lone person by myself going down my crazy route while everyone else looks at me thinking I'm mental. So they're all real internal things, but then I'm kind of putting them up on display at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think you would have done it. That's what I'm really. I'm proud of you if they're doing that, because it's something you keep. You keep a lot of things quite private, and for you to put this on a wall, I think it's huge. Like, to put my beliefs on a wall. This is where I am. This is what I'm standing for.
It's a very big ode to you.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of what you're trying to achieve. I think you said it, that you referenced the fact that it's your space and it's your office area, right? It feels like you're trying to present you to anybody that's going to see it, and I think that's probably where I understand where Joe's coming from. Is that maybe 7 years ago that isn't the type of Lee that I think we knew, and I think
I see that. And I think the bit with it as well, and it ties back to what we touched on this, Joe, last week, and I'm going to talk around it in more detail in another show, is this whole nothing to prove thing that you've spoken about a couple of times. Because actually, like you said, it's my space, and I'm making it my space, and it's there for everybody to see. But actually, I'm doing it for me completely. It's a completely selfish act, I'm just doing it for me, because I'm not actually, there's no external judgment in it. I don't care what people, and not I don't care, it's not a factor in my mind what other people think. These are for me, because I've got that, I'm not trying to prove anything, and that real confidence in who I am as a person now. But ironically, that's what then creates the outcome that I'm putting out there for everyone to see, even though the intention is almost or the thing that drives it is almost the opposite. Which, like you said, is not where I was 7 years ago whatsoever.
Yeah. And also, the also thing that came to mind for me as well is that being brave enough to put it on a wall, it's you, right? It's quite a vulnerable thing. I know you say this is me, and I love it because that confidence is there. Because a vulnerable thing to say, this is what I believe in. Right? This is me. And people, you're putting yourself on the line with people. If people come around, you show them the room, oh, slightly, and it's that sort of thing which I think is really cool. And the other thing I really like, and it's the thing that James Clear talks about. You're creating that environment, which is you, is that because the
That's
environment
it, yeah.
creates the thing that you want to breed, right? So you're creating now in that environment. Like I've got this behind me, right? This, honestly, if I take this off, it's still there. And I think that's such a massive thing. The thing that I wrote, you said, nothing to prove. I wrote it on. It's a little post-it on my work laptop that I carry on. And I think all these things really matter because it reminds you who you are in the state in a state where things are moving quickly or there's uncertainty. It gives you an anchor. Good.
And I think that's you're just spot on because it's the majority of 75% of my time in there is working, and I'm creating that environment where I can do my best work with those affirmations, because all those things are part of what drive me in everything I do, but in work with it. Green is the color because green is a really good color for thinking and being creative and being calm. So that's deliberate for the space, thinking of it being there, because I work in there, we do this in there, I do my little crazy outside projects in there. That's where that part of my mind is most utilized across all of them, and I am creating that space to kind of be the best version of those things.
Yeah.
I also sit in there and play Fortnite, just to say, which probably isn't quite as related to it all, but I think it's part of the mix.
I think it is. I think it's because it's really you. You're sort of expressing you, and it's almost like that piece where you're looking in the mirror, isn't it? And you're now seeing what you see, and you're expressing it. It's that, that what I'm writing there, or the color of the room is all expression of me, and it's your part. You really are. What's the word? You're actually looking inside you, but you're expressing it in the ways that will enhance your environment to do the work you want to do, which I think is incredible.
Back to something you've talked about a lot in the past, Joe, and again, yeah. I'm reflecting back because I'm just in the middle of doing this. It's really intentional and really purposeful. Obviously the mission is, let's decorate this room because it's grotty and we've moved in and we need to put a stamp on it. But then in thinking about how that room's going to be done, I've not just, let's pick a color, let's get it done, here we go. It's really, without almost effortlessly, but it's everything in there is really intentional and really purposeful.
And go back to Steve Jobs. I was just thinking about when he used to do design and stuff like that. Everything in Apple stores are specifically designed for a specific purpose to drive certain things. I love it. That's really how we should all be thinking. Down to the smallest detail. Now, Steve Jobs is a Steve Jobs thought, isn't it? Whether you like him or don't like him, I think it's a really powerful concept. And I think the biggest thing is you think about the color, but you put in those quotes on the wall that mean a lot to you because. When times get hard, and they'll come, always do. You can look at that and just draw. Imagine just draw strength from it to say, I've just got to stick with this for now. That's my anchor. In the roughness of the seas or whatever we're going, that's what I'm going to anchor to, which I think is really powerful. It's sort of like a lighthouse. Imagine it. This is the rock you sit on. No matter what goes on around you, you're sitting on that, and I think it's a really powerful concept. I love it.
I appreciate the
silence there, wasn't it? I love that silence. Actually, it's quite dramatic. Go on, Ryan.
I think first of all, Daft Punk have made some of the best dance music of all time.
Absolutely.
There's
4 of them that I will play back to back on my playlist that are absolute gold.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that there is an honor to that sort of music because I like that sort of music. But I think what I like about it is that you say it's purposeful, you say it's a selfish act, you say it's to put your kind of stamp on the room and the house that you've moved into, but you're also kind of creating a fail safe. You're creating a scenario where you can't fail. So even if you wake up one day and you don't feel one of the the three quotes that you feel, or you forget that that's kind of, you have a rough morning or whatever, you can go into the office and you can remind yourself of who you are. You can have a difficult meeting or a difficult conversation with somebody, or an email's a bit rubbish or whatever, and you would be able to remind yourself of the things and the person that has driven you to do the good things that you've done. So you're almost creating a motivational signpost in the environment that you're putting yourself in. And I think you're only going to build and build on that. It's, as I say, it's almost hard. It's almost a fail safe, because even if you fall down, you're just going to be able to kind of remind yourself of where you are and who you are and get bounce back up. It won't solve every problem, and I think that's kind of what Joe's saying, but you're mitigating your failure chance.
And I visualize that. That's the thing I see, is that those moments when you do, because you do forget, you do get under, you do stress. I can see me doing exactly, looking at them and being like, you know, it's strength. I'm like, that's me. Remember, that's you. And I think you're right. Then, and actually, and I do it, but you have that moment where you snap yourself back, and almost I'll turn around, not even knowing they're there, and be like, yes, it's there. And you're absolutely right. I think that's not how I articulated it in my mind so far, but you're absolutely right. It's there. I can't escape it, and it's there as a good, like, a comfort safety thing. It's there to ground me.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's also going to speak to your subconscious as well. Just being in that room, subconscious, the signal, isn't it? It will just be that, and I think it will bleed into every conversation you have. You know, because it's just who you are. I know having that quote, or this thing, that what I've got my quote. When I look at that in the morning, it's the funniest thing. And it's disappeared from there, but it's around somewhere. I look at it.
Is this your Joe Noya?
It's that. Where did I do with it?
You're not on this planet to make up the numbers. You're here to make a difference.
It's really weird. Well, this is a great one as well. I love all this stuff. It's not actually on the wall, but if I take that down, you know, this is all my. In fact, someone today in a meeting, I had this background at work, and someone said, "Oh, no, we looked up Inspirational. That was a coup. That was great."
Nice.
So what was I saying? Yeah, and I was, you know, I wasn't feeling great, but I looked at that quote and just said, "Joy." Just like today, it's like about, you know, bringing, you know, you do this stuff for joy. You know, you have nothing to prove. You're here to help people, and that just changes your whole mentality. To have things like this, like you've got, Lee, is just, like I say, it's a great anchor. And the more you do it, it'll just become part of you. Just become part of you, and all the conversations you have will flood from that. I know these things like I do. It's what I love having these quotes around, because it just is you, and it just flows through.
And it's like a call. It's like a call to action to yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's this is me. This is my purpose, and this is what I'm going to do. And it brings you back to the important things that matter to you.
Yeah, I love that. I've got some comments actually on TikTok, and
what we got?
Room has said, "I love the anonymous quote. Obviously, different quotes, but I love this as a classic coaching one, isn't it? If you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. Love that one. The classic.
Yeah, that's a brilliant quote.
It's a quote, isn't it? I love that. And what I did, there was also another one around the Ted Lasso quote. Someone just said, "I'm just here for the Ted Lasso sign." I thought that was quite cool. I'm just here for that. That was quite good. So that was quite nice. But yeah, and Lee, I just want to say that this is a very vulnerable thing you're sharing, with, you know, on a podcast to the public, and I think it's a very brave thing to do, and to talk about it, and to have it in your home, put it up. So I just think it's really powerful, and this is what I think our audience will really benefit from this. That, you know, what will you do? You know, if you love a quote, how are you going to embody it? And I think you're actually embodying it, Lee. This is the key. You're embodying your belief system. So it bleeds into that environment you're creating. And this room's that opportunity. And you said the room, we're not to redecorate, we're going to create an environment to nurture, you know, the person that I am and want to become and continue to be. And I think that's a really powerful thing.
Thank you, appreciate it. And it is, and it's like you said, and it's back to that thing you talked about, which we'll go into more detail in a future show. But it's all, this is my approach to life. You should all mirror it. This is me, and everyone's got their own version of what that is, and it's about finding your own version over time.
And do you know what you're doing though, Lee? When you say that, what comes across in my mind was you're giving up other people permission to do the same. which is brilliant, isn't it? Just think of that for a minute. I'm telling you this is what I believe. I'm not asking you to believe this. What I'm saying is it gives you permission to believe what you believe and what drives you. And I think this is what this whole podcast is about. And
Absolutely.
I've got mine behind me. It's all right. So this is really cool. And I'm really glad you shared it. And this is why I think it's just so great. And this is why I love doing this podcast, because this is when I have these surprises, you guys doing stuff like this. It's just so good. I love it.
This feels like a perfect time to ask for some takeaways, and we'll wrap us up, because that's a brilliant summing up there. So I'll go to you first, Mr. Jose Alfredo Eduardo Noya.
Well, for me, it's environment shapes you, or you shape it. So shape your environment to help you be the person you want to become, and are. And that's what I'm taking away there. I still need to shape. The kid needs to do more shaping on mine, but that's my takeaway.
Ryan Reginald Boniface.
I would say create yourself enough fail safes as possible. Give yourself as little reason to fail as you can.
And Lee Brad Pitt Kemp will say, don't be afraid to lean into who you are.
Love that.
And as always, Jose is the man. If you want to follow him on TikTok or on YouTube, Jose Noya Inspiration Nation, stick it in your Google machine and go to inspirationation.org.uk. There's 7+ years. We're getting on for 7.5 years soon of, I say excellent, some okay content on there. 7.5 years worth of it. Loads of people are going through and download loads of them. So those of you on your road trips that we are helping you get through, we massively appreciate it. Leave comments, leave a review. Just hit that little 5-star button. That's all you got to do. And tell friends and family. There's just a little share button. It's a little square with an arrow at the top. Send it to someone else, get them to have a listen. We really appreciate all that. Helps us grow. What's left for me to do now is count us down. I say 3, 2, 1. Inspiration Nation. Catch you guys later.
Catch you guys later. We've done the freeze frame again. Love that.
I like a freeze frame. There we go.
Brilliant.
Right.